I wanted to say on this, I mean, President Bush, in his memoirs, said that he approved of the waterboarding of 3 known terrorists at Guantanamo in the aftermath of 9/11, one of them being the mastermind of that, the man I mentioned earlier, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Now, there's no doubt about it. This has damaged America's view in the world. I have no doubt about that. I don't think any of you do.
We don't care.
The extent of those so-called enhanced interrogation techniques has been massively exaggerated.
I don't think it has.
But if it did provide us information, then there is obviously a moral question that arises from that. I just wanted to address the following. Yasmin says about, we must show, as it were, our principles. We must show that we're better than them. We are better than Al-Qaeda.
Yes.
We don't have to show that, Yasmin.
No, you do.
Yasmin, just wait a second. But the point is what Yasmin is doing, and what many people are doing at the moment, is holding America and our allies to such a uniquely high standard that no society could ever live up to it. That even the worst enemy of a society has to be buried according to the customs that they would want. I can't raise it in me, Yasmin, to think that whether or not the customs around his burial were perfect in your eyes is the most important thing in the Bin Laden story.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely true. 1,000% true.
Then you are as barbaric as them.
Well, we're not
You're
as
as
barbaric
stupid as everybody else.
Of course we're not. What? Because we don't do the exact Islamic burial, we're as barbaric. It's as if we'd flown planes into buildings. This is moral relativism gone mad. It's worse than moral relativism. It's an inversion of morality.
You can't choose your...
It's virtue signaling. That's what it's virtue signaling. And what Douglas was talking about, too, in terms of where the morality of the United States, because of enhanced torture techniques, we don't give a damn. We got the information, and we would do it again in a heartbeat if it meant preventing some type of an attack on the United States or any other Western democracy.
Morality. Bits. You can't choose bits of it.
Well, you do.
I don't.
You do, and you decide to apply moral norms to societies that you dislike, which you wouldn't apply to others.
No, you don't. You're virtue signaling all the time.
Barbarically.
And some worse, some more than others, yes.
No, it's
some
not
worse
true.
than others.
I'm sorry, I apologize to you that I have to take issue with you, but I mean, you made an extraordinary statement a moment ago. I noted it down. We are better than Al-Qaeda. We don't have to show it. No, Douglas.
Hang on. Allow it.
No, hang on.
I said we show it all the time.
We are better.
No, you didn't.
Look, excuse me, just for a moment. We are better than Al-Qaeda. We don't have to show it. No, we are better than Al-Qaeda because we do show it by everything that we do.
More virtue signaling. More virtue signaling.
If I may get back
by a
to the
leftist.
point. Let's enhanced interrogation techniques, let's call it what it is. It's torture. Now, is torture ever justified because of the information that you get out of it? I tell you, I don't believe it is.
Well, we believe it is.
I seem to be in a position saying, tonight I've been there, I've done that. When I was a member of Special Forces, we used to have interrogation every year. And in those days, the enhanced interrogation techniques, which are now illegal, were applied against us. And I can tell you that in the first instance, a man will say anything under those circumstances. The information that they give is not reliable. But I'll tell you a second thing, that if you allow your society to use these mechanisms, it will corrupt eventually the whole of your society. And that has to be a principle of If you measure these two events, the death of Osama bin Laden and the Arab Spring, I mean, I've just no doubt which is the most important event. It's the Arab Spring that's the most important event. And I'll tell you why, because these are Arabs doing things for Arabs, not Americans and Westerners doing things to Arabs. And it's that we have to put our hope on. I don't think this will go on forever. I think that the moderates in that great moderate religion, tolerant religion of Islam, tolerance lies at the heart of Islam. They are beginning to win control of their own religion. And by the way, as Christians, we should recognize that we've had them too. I mean, I don't have to go to Baghdad to hear a preacher preaching death. I could have gone to Belfast a few years ago, and I come from that city. So let's not just remember that we don't have a few problems of our own. This thing will be won when, in due course, as I think is now happening, the Enlightenment comes to Islam. And that's the most important thing. The Arab Spring is far more important than the death of Osama bin Laden.
Very, very...
This guy was proved 1,000% wrong because the Arab Spring didn't provide a single damn thing. In fact, things have gone from bad to worse So the thing that did happen was the death of Osama bin Laden. His killing was 1,000 times greater because, like I said, is all these leftists in due time get proved that their ideas are completely wrong. They might feel good, they might sound good, they virtue signaling from they polish their halos every single day they go out. They're polishing right here in front of you, folks. You can't see it, but their halos are polished. It's so blinding, you can't even see. I can't even see what I have to hear everything. Their halos are so bright, it's blinding my eyes.
Very brief.
I couldn't agree more, but just to say this idea that by killing the leader... by killing...
I couldn't agree more, we'll leave it there.
Just quickly, the idea that, as it were, this will make things worse is nonsense. If by killing terrorists you create terrorism, then what can you do but sit back and take it? And it doesn't strike me that, this group needed reasons to be angry with us. They were already angry enough. It wasn't as if killing their leader is going to make them behave worse. They weren't moderate towards America on 9/11.
Hang on a second,
if your line is going to be that it's all our fault, I don't think that will work. But look, I'm not just blaming Nick Clegg. I read these reports of Nick Hoon Chris Hoon banging the cabinet table. My question to that is, where was the anger on tuition fees? Where was the anger on the NHS? Where was the anger on VAT? If you can get so angry. If you can get so angry in your own self-interest, but not in the national interest, what's the point of being in the coalition?
Hang on a second.
It's the same way he can talk about the unelected upper house whilst being Lord Ashdown.
Well, why do you think I'm Lord Ashdown?
I don't know,
because the only place to cast your vote to get rid of the House of Lords is in the House of Lords. If you're not there, you can't get rid of it. But let me come back to the main point.
My God.
You may not understand our political system, but if
I don't.
If something... Hang on a second.
It's a very liberal Democrat way of going about it.
Hang on a second,
very comfortable.
If something is passed through the House of Commons, if it doesn't go through the House of Lords, it can't get through.
All right.
So you're solely there for a reason.
Let me see if I can come back.
I mean, first of all, I mean...
you have to speed this up.
Okay,
so first of all.
Okay. Look, AV is a miserable little compromise, as Nick Clegg said so famously. And I think that a lot of people like myself, or the few people like myself who actually turned up and voted today in the deserted polling stations on this matter, will have a lot of questions for Mr. Clegg, and indeed the coalition about this, which is why on earth we've ended up having this very expensive referendum over something which is pretty minor in terms of voting reform, which I think is needed. And this country has never had a referendum on any of the important issues in recent years. We've never had a referendum, for instance, on whether or not we can keep our sovereignty. We've never had a referendum about whether or not we can stay in Europe.
I don't want to be brutal, but is this referendum, if it goes wrong for Nick Clegg, a judgment on the Liberal Democrats?
I'm sure it'll be seen as that, and I'm sure that he will come to a terrible end, and he'll end up being shunted off as a European commissioner.
Another great debate talking about enhanced interrogation techniques, and I'm a little bit disappointed that Douglas is not on board with enhanced interrogation techniques. At least it seems he feels that they didn't give that kind of information, that it's kind of, he doesn't know. We were told that it did provide material support. It did give information on Osama bin Laden's hiding place. It gave us information on other valuable targets that were utilized and then were basically terminated. Mike, I tell something this: if somebody was about to, if you knew that there was somebody that you had captured and they have the answers and they are in charge, and you've got enough information to know that that person was high enough in the food chain and they were planning some type of a terrorist event, and you knew, like I said, that this wasn't just some little underling, that you have enough information that you know that this is one of the top people there and they know what's going on, and you can save the lives of not hundreds of them, but millions of people from a terrorist attack. Are you telling me as President of the United States you're not going to ask to use enhanced interrogation technique? Somebody's got to make that decision, folks. I say that that's a decision, okay, that needs to be taken. There's others out there, bleeding heart liberals, that say you can't do it. Let the thing go on. Let the terrorist event occur. Let hundreds of thousands or millions of people go ahead and perish. But if you know that you've got a chance, a 1% chance of extracting some type of information to save your city, to save your country, to save your people, you go ahead, you go down that route of enhanced interrogation technique. Call it torture, call it whatever the hell you want. But I'm not going to virtue signal. I'm not going to sit there and polish my halo, because that's an easy, coward way out of basically saying you have to follow the rule of law. In war, you follow the rule of law where it's needed. But for extraordinary circumstances, extraordinary things need to be done. Someone's got to make that decision, and then they've got to live with that decision. Anyways, folks, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasir. If you haven't done so already and you love our content, who wouldn't love our content? And if you don't love our content, comment. Put your things down below. Tell me you don't like it, you hate it, you can't stand it. Or tell me you love it, you want more of it. We're going to do it regardless. Anyways, like I said, we appreciate you taking the time. Like, share, and follow us. You all know what to do. Take a look at our other video content here and below. I'll leave you with my final thought, which is, when you're right, you're right, and when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.